Okay, we left off on the previous video with the touching on the necessity of creating a personal workout routine, especially if a lot of your time is not associating with other people to train with. Even if you are lucky enough to have 70% of your time sparring with other training partners, you still should have some type of a personal training routine worked out to augment your time working out with your training partners. Now, a few basic concepts should be maybe thought upon when you're thinking about a personal training routine. When you are working out by yourself, maybe some people might think, okay, I will not work out quite as hard as I would when I am training or sparring with somebody else. I have to differ from that. It's actually quite to the contrary. When you work out by yourself, you work out harder. You work out a lot harder than you would when you're working with your training partners. Because what you're trying to achieve with your personal workouts, one thing you're trying to achieve, that is to surpass any type of skill that you might need when you are with your training partners. You want to overemphasize your training when you are training by yourself. You want to give yourself a more grueling workout when you are working out by yourself than with your training partner. So when the time comes when you do meet an adversary or an opponent, you have worked out a lot harder than you would in an actual fight. Time-wise and just rigorousness, you want to work out harder when you work out by yourself than you would when you are with other people. That's a maxim to think about. Now, personally, when I approach a workout, a personal workout that is, I'm not very enthusiastic about it because I know it feels like I'm going into a torture chamber. I'm thinking, oh no, I don't want to do this right now. But once I get past those doldrums of my pre-workout time, you know, when I think about what I'm up against, then I get in there and maybe I'll start slow if it's a slow day, but I will just pick up and just start wailing and start moving and just go on and on until I just can't hardly go anymore. I can't think of a workout, personal workout, that I've had where I did not give it my 100%. I just can't think of one. It does not occur to me. Maybe there was one day I was sick. I don't know. But the point is that the concept of a personal workout, especially for martial artists, is that you should give a lot more effort, a lot more strength, a lot more just effort to your personal workouts than you would when you're working out with other people. Okay, that said, one reason I threw out all those videos, the power leg, overhead leg lifts, the overhead leg kicks, the power shadow boxing, the power jumping, is to put some pieces together for you so you can maybe use those in your personal training routine. Now, remember I talked about an aspect of the metaphysical dojo is that you create good martial artists. Martial artists should be an upper echelon in the sports world. Now, why? One reason is because it's an art and it's not a sport. I will resume that discussion later. Okay, so as martial artists, remember, you assimilate what you learn, you amalgamate it into your body, into your mind, into your soul, and then you create from that. All right? Now, we're talking about assimilating martial art moves, amalgamating it into your physical body and into your psyche, into your soul, and then creating from it. That takes intellect. That takes a subconscious mind that could take these multitudes of moves, multitudes of martial arts or teachings, subconsciously, and then produce creatively moves and just fighting methods that have not existed before. That's the whole purpose of creativity. So, developing a personal workout routine should be nothing compared to the creation of new martial art techniques by a true martial artist. Therefore, the realization that maybe the more important part of any martial artist's training is personal training. And realizing that personal training has to be even more rigorous than training with the partners, and then creating a regimented and scientific training routine is an important part of every martial artist. I'm not going to dwell on my routine. My routine could be different than your routine, which inevitably it will be. But the point is to realize the personal training routine is important and incorporate in your life. There's thousands of people out there that will take $75 an hour from you to teach you how to make a personal training routine. But you martial artists out there, that should be second nature. You should be able to do it. Look at my videos and put them together and make a martial art personal training routine that you'll stick to and that you will improve by. Now, we've tossed around the word art for a while that follows the word martial. Why is martial arts an art? Let's look at the difference between martial arts and sports, okay? A sport is confined by rules. Sure, you could be creative in sports. Every professional or college sports player is creative as they are confined by rules. Martial arts are confined by rules during tournaments, naturally. But, nevertheless, martial arts as an art gives unharnessed freedom to create new ways to fight. Put it this way, okay? A football center, even if he wanted to, he cannot toss that ball to the tight end before the quarterback, even if he knew the tight end had an opening, had a hole where he could make it to the end zone. It's not. He's constrained with rules. All right? Martial artists are not. In the dojo, you're not constrained by rules. So that's why it's an art. That's why it's creativity. That's why you must create with what you learned previously. And you must take in what you are learning. So that's why it's an art and not a sport. Another thing about the difference between an art and a sport is that, look at it this way, you can perfect something in a sport, even though this is highly improbable, might never happen. A batter in baseball might hit 1,000 in a season. The odds on that happening are probably 1,000,000 to 1. Okay? Now, but it can happen. 1,000,000 to 1 odds. A player might someday hit 1,000 in a season. A martial artist, however, does not have that probability on his side. Look at it this way. Even the best indomitable martial artist, he can defeat one person every month for his whole fighting career, whether it be 12 years. But can he defeat 2 people at one time, 2 martial artists, for 12 years every month? Maybe. Can he defeat 3 at one time? Chances are getting slimmer. Can he defeat 8 people a group of 8 people at one time for a year. So you see the difference. The martial artist is not constrained like the batter is. The batter has the luxury of only hitting one ball. The martial artist might not always have the luxury of only fighting one person. So therefore, the martial artists, it's an art that is not constrained by the rules of the game. And that is the difference between the martial arts and any sport. Talk to you next video.